Just a quick audio check. Doreen, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, I can.
All right, thank you. I hear you as well. We have the live stream up.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to turn my camera and my microphone on a little bit early. I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. I see some Cloud Bedrock clients here. Thank you for joining us. I see some new faces here. Who here is joining us for the very first time? Hopefully we have chat engaged and I'm not just like talking and nobody can answer. Can you all hear me?
Yep, we can hear you. Got a couple.
Hi, Mr. Lee. It's your first time. Welcome. Has anyone watched our previous recordings for how to get your training up and running? Awesome. Good. Negative. Oh, you should get on that. Good information there about getting your Google My Business listing up and running, about getting your Facebook and social media marketing set up. We're here to help if there's anything you're questioning. All right. Well, we have a good showing for the week of Christmas and Hanukkah. I know a lot of people are busy during these days. We've got 4 nights of Hanukkah down. We've got Christmas coming on Sunday. Busy week for people. I'm done. I'm done with all of my shopping and my cookie baking. They've all been distributed. So I'm feeling pretty good about the holidays this year. Butch, is your first time. Well, thank you for joining us. Butch, have you watched any of our previous videos? Jim, are you going to fire up that presentation for me? Or do I do that?
Yeah, you do that. I've got the clicker for when I take over on my section. So
Okay, well, I've got my
because I
people
don't
working
trust
on
you pressing the button.
it. Oh, you shouldn't trust me.
I
for
should not.
pressing the button.
Yeah.
Well, thank you everyone for joining us. My name is Doreen Hankins and I am the owner of Detroit Arms. We are a firearm training facility here in the metropolitan Detroit area. Been in business for 15 years. I have learned a lot in those 15 years. I've made mistakes in those 15 years. I've had some successes in those 15 years, and I'm here to share those with you. We're with my husband, Jim Hankins, and he is the owner of Cloud Bedrock. Jim, you want to tell people a little bit about yourself?
Yeah. So the Detroit Arms thing was my big fat hairy idea.
Yes.
And Doreen wanted a bakery and I got her a gun store.
Yeah, because it was way cooler. It was way cooler.
So much cooler.
Yeah.
And then I was also a software developer in the technology world, and a app that I created got acquired by a company, and I had to exit stage left and left Doreen in charge of the store she didn't know she wanted. And she has been very effectively running that show for the last 15 years.
Yep.
Then the company that acquired my intellectual property then got gobbled up by yet another company, a public company, a couple of years back. So I had a nice exit from that and decided to start something new, and came back to drive Doreen crazy and help out, which in turn has turned
it's
into
working. It's working. So a little disclosure on Detroit Arms. When we first opened, we opened as a gun store and as a training facility. What we went into the market with was self-defense training, and then a firearm store that sold self-defense pistols, long guns, holsters, everything you would need for preparing for self-defense or your concealed pistol license class. After about, I would say, a good 4 or 5 years in the retail industry, I had an epiphany that training was where it was at, and that owning a gun store was a difficult task at best because of all of the government regulations and all the time that it took to own a retail facility. So I made a executive decision and closed the gun store and opened up just training. So here we are with the just training. I reach out now in my spare time to instructors, USCCA instructors across the nation, to work with them and their struggles with putting butts in seats. I know that what works for me may not work for you. I just share my experience and what has worked with my 15 years in the industry. Detroit is a saturated market when it comes to concealed pistol license trainers and firearms trainers in general. There's literally a trainer on every corner of every street, and varying levels of experience. And it's hard to go out into a market like Detroit and try to differentiate yourself from others and attract people to you. So I have done Google marketing, I've done Facebook marketing. If you go to pewpros.com, it's https://pew, pewpros.com. Jim, if you can throw the link up there for them. You can join our little crusade. And in there, we post all of the prior recordings that we've done with the group. We did a interview with a gentleman by the name of Marcus Weldon. He is a good friend of ours here at Detroit Arms, regularly comes in and speaks to our classes about a self-defense incident he had in the city of Detroit a couple years back. I've interviewed him a number of times. If you go to the Detroit Arms website, you'll see an interview that I did with him from a student's perspective and why having coverage like the USCCA coverage is so very important. And then if you go on to Pew Pros, you'll see the most recent interview that I did with him, which was, I think, about 30 days ago. And it comes from an instructor's perspective and encouraging your students to get the training that they need. The training that he had was amazing. He was not my student. He had taken a CPL class long before I met him. But he had some excellent training, with the exception of dialing 911 and speaking to law enforcement. Those were two things that he did at length and probably shouldn't have, because his speaking to 911 and trying to explain a situation to them and then subsequently talking to law enforcement. One of the officers actually saw that he was digging himself into a hole and told him to be quiet. I think because he spoke so much on both accounts, it set him up. He ended up being charged with 7 felonies for his behavior that evening. He overcame that. He received all of his rights back. He was found innocent, and it's a great story. You should hear it. So anyway, tonight we are going to go over how to record slides for your online classes. We did a webinar similar to this last week and the week before. People just love online learning, and I am a big proponent of online learning. And our previous webinars talked a lot about ideas for online learning. And we didn't go really into the nitty-gritty of how to actually record slides for online classes. So I'm going to start us at the beginning of where we started the first time and go from there. So you ask, why online? Isn't in person better? I have found that online training for both the student and for me can tend to be more convenient, more flexible. It widens your market. It does establish credibility for you. It monetizes your knowledge, and you can make classes available to your students 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so here are some statistics about e-learning that I didn't make up, but there's a $457.8 billion market in e-learning. That 70% of students will tell you that online classes can be better than traditional learning. We have a split class that we do here where people take part of our concealed carry class online and then come in and take the remainder of the class. The online portion we do live. We do have some recorded training out there that we offer, but the CPL class in general, we do live. But they are loving sitting in their own living room and being comfortable, and they're anonymous to a point where they're feeling free to ask questions that they wouldn't normally have the courage to raise their hands up, in a room of 20 people. 98% of US corporations have incorporated online learning into their business. So this is not something that we're a trailblazer on. A lot of companies are out there doing it. And for the Greenpeace people out there, uses 90% less energy when compared to on-campus learning. So we're not having to drive around and ruin the atmosphere. Some more statistics are that 93% of companies plan to adopt online learning in the future. I'm guessing you're part of that 93% because you are here with us. And 42% of companies who use e-learning generate more income. And that right there is important. Here's some proof. I have a online concealed pistol license renewal class that I host online. It is 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. It is on-demand training. People sign up, they pay $37.95 a piece to receive the login for that class. They log in the state of Michigan. In order to renew your Michigan CPL, you're required to do a 3-hour review of training and 1 hour of shooting in the 6 months that precedes your renewal application. You are not required to take a class in Michigan, but you are required to do a 3-hour review. A lot of people get nervous. They don't want to self-study because they're not sure exactly what they should self-study. The state of Michigan just basically says self-study of the pertinent materials, but they don't tell people what those are. We did our research. We found out what the pertinent topics were. Initially, I released a book, a self-study book that we deliver in ebook format. It took Jim probably 8 to 10 years to convince me to write and put that book out to market. And it just took off. Like a crazy amount of people ordered that book. So then he said, why don't you record the book? And some people just don't want to read a 65-page book about Michigan law and everything else that goes along with it. So with some prodding, a couple more years worth of prodding, he convinced me to sit down, make a presentation, record it, and throw it out there on the internet. And believe it or not, I make $100 to $200 a day without any work at all, because people are ordering that book online. They're ordering it at 2:42 in the morning to 17 in the morning. They're ordering it 24 hours a day. So what did they buy? It was a little video that I recorded. I put a page out there that in my advertising efforts, it's called a funnel. And it's a page that just talks specifically to the CPL renewals that are in the state of Michigan. So I'm able to kind of take my customer base and I'm able to actually funnel them exactly to what I want them to know. I put some information out there about what they're going to learn in the class, why choose me. And if they have any questions, they're always able to call me while they're doing their training or before they do the training, after they do the training. I am a USCCA certified instructor. I'm happy to help them with any questions they have. I offer 3 ways for that renewal class to take place. We have in-person classes here at Detroit Arms. We do them twice a month. We have the online self-paced video. People can log in. They can watch all 3 hours at once. It's broken into chapters. So if they wanted to take 1 chapter at a time, they could do that. And then, of course, we have the printable ebook. So here is the, when a student logs in, here's what they see as far as the class in the library. They get the information about the class in segmented format. So each one of these modules is what the state of Michigan wants you to know as a CPL holder renewing your your license. So they're able to watch them all at once. They can watch them one at a time. The platform that I'm hosting them on, the Cloud Bedrock platform, keeps track for them. So if they do log out and they log back in, it's just like on Netflix. You know where you left off, you know how many more you have to go. And then I included some additional videos, additional information that they may want to know that they wouldn't have otherwise learned maybe in their existing CPL class. I do a lot of work with renewal students, and it's amazing what they don't know about dialing 911. Most people don't know when that 911 call starts recording. We talk a little bit about reciprocity and utilizing the USCCA map for that. And then just a quick overview of what we talked about in the class. An example of one of the slides that I'm talking to, I'm not actually on camera in this training thing. I'm just voicing it over. And we talk about the basics of fundamentals of handgun shooting, that they're all equally important, and when to stop shooting in a self-defense situation. What all of this equals to me is making money 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm making money when I'm not even working, and you can too. So you say, how? I'm not a Hollywood producer. The secret is that you don't have to be. Even with a face for radio, you can do this. All you have to do is have a camera, have a microphone, put on a clean shirt and brush your hair, and it's showtime. At Detroit Arms and Cloud Bedrock, we make it easy for you. The only thing holding you back in this is you. It takes less time than you think. Everybody on this call, on this Zoom call, has the ability to do live online mini classes via Zoom. If you were able to log on and do this class with us tonight, you're able to log on and do a class with your own students. The USCCA has some really awesome, already produced class material that you can use to host live online mini classes on platforms like Zoom. We, Cloud Bedrock, we also have some already produced class material that you can run in a recorded fashion, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week on video on demand. And so these students are available to get training. All of these classes are available when they're looking to learn. We've had great success with evening classes. Here in Michigan, it's freezing cold outside. When people get home from work, they're home from work. They're not looking to come home, slam a sandwich, and keep going on their day. It gets dark here by 5 o'clock. By 5:30, everybody's got their comfy pants on and they're snuggled down into the couch. We do a lot of live online training on Zoom with the USCCA mini classes. The bonus with doing a USCCA mini class is that it counts towards your student credit for the year. So you need to get those 20 students in. You're able to do this in an evening. Most of the mini courses are right around 55 minutes long. Ours tend to go a little longer because they tend to be really interactive when we're doing them. So we just schedule 2 hours and we say we're going to host a class from 6:30 till 8:30 online, sell it for $10, $15, $20, depending on the market. And they all log in. They all take the class. You get credit, and they get an experience. The Cloud Bedrock platform, which Jim is going to talk about later, has a membership portal that stores the videos that we've produced that can be driven 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. But anything that you do with the USCCA platform has to be done live. And for either one, you collect your fees with Stripe. So you can have results or you can have excuses. Jim always tells me 90% of the failures come from people who have habits of making excuses. That would be me. I've been guilty of saying I have bad hair today. I am bloated. I just don't feel like it. And so he always has to find a way to come around to get me to do something. So content ideas for class. The USCCA has mini classes. They can be done online, but they have to be delivered live. And so if you look in your instructor portal, if you look in your classes there. They have PowerPoint presentations for all of these classes: an introduction to constitutional carry, developing a personal and home protection plan, self-defense, firearm basics, the defensive shooting fundamentals, the legal force of use of force, violent encounters and their aftermath. You'll recognize all of these, and these are in your instructor portal and can be used for live online classes. Here's some original ideas that you can do. I personally have recorded a number of these. I have how to choose your first class, the importance of taking a gun safety course, what you need to know as a firearm owner, even if you don't carry. And I use those three classes. They're short, 15 minutes. I use those to drive people in to taking my class. I have an introduction to handguns class. That one's rather lengthy. I'm going to say that one goes on the 30-minute mark for the class. That one I tend to charge for. It's very information rich, and that is a great class to get students in for training. It's also a great class for those people who are planning on taking a CPL class, but they're just not familiar with guns. And you don't want them sitting in a classroom having all of these gun words thrown at them and they don't understand what it means. It's a great way to kind of get them over the hump for that and get them into class. Other classes that we have include the basic handgun safety and responsibility training. We have one on concealed carry versus open carry. Here in Michigan, we have open carry available to us. There are rules to open carry that people don't typically realize. So we put that out there. We've got a self-defense class that we teach. It is not a karate class or any of that. It is basically situational awareness skills. So many people walk around without their head on a swivel, and we give them some street knowledge and some good techniques to use in order to get themselves out of a situation. We have the concealed carry renewal training. We have a short brief called "Is a concealed carry permit right for me?" There are some people who aren't sure if this is something that they should consider. A lot of people don't realize the no carry zones. And so they'll end up coming to a class and say, wow, that's a lot of places that I can't carry a firearm. Maybe their employer won't let them have a firearm on the property where they work. And so we cover all of that. We have a basic firearm safety class. We also cover frequently asked questions. So the reality of all of this is that you're the star and you should be out there showcasing your talent. You should have monetization of what you know. So some of these we use as leader courses. We let your students experience your teaching method and your personality before they commit to joining you for sometimes in a 16-hour class. So students come better prepared to in-person classes when they've taken some of these precursor courses. Students seem less threatened by online content and are apt to sign up just to see what it's all about. I know that I counsel a lot of students before they come to class, and they're not sure if this is something that they can do. And they have a number of questions, and we've covered that in a lot of the videos that we produced. It establishes credibility. You're able to highlight what you know and how you deliver it to people. And these classes can be made available 24/7, which is important. So the word on the street is, if you can dream it, you can do it. You don't need a fancy studio. I happen to have one only because Jim makes me have one. I didn't initially start with a fancy studio. I started with my laptop perched up on a USCCA ammo can so that the level was right, and just my laptop and my microphone on my laptop. You don't need any special equipment. I think here you see somebody using their phone on a tripod, which, by the way, is very important if you're going to record on your phone. You don't want that picture moving all around and getting people seasick from home. So do invest in a tripod. You can get them at Five Below. You don't need a special beauty routine. all you need is the ability to form words and adequate content. So here's an instructor that I came across. I get ads from this instructor often, which I've reached out because they're actually not in my area. They're not in Michigan, yet they're advertising in my market for this class, which is fine if somebody wants to travel to Texas to take their training. But they offer a situational awareness class. I think they're charging $20 for it. And they basically go through the same things that we teach people with situational awareness, keeping your head on a swivel, observing everything that's going on around you, and deciding whether or not to act in a situation. They also happen to teach online CPL classes. And so they've got a pretty robust training program there in Texas. And all you need to do is to do a Zoom webinar with your students in order to teach the USCCA curriculum. And the stuff that Cloud Bedrock has to offer is free to all of our Cloud Bedrock customers. And you can choose to teach those live, or you can record them. I provide you with the slides. I provide you with the voiceover. You can voice them over yourself. You can use me, whatever's convenient for you. Again, these are the ones that you have to do live. These are the ones that you can do, and you can make up any class. We make up classes all the time with things that people are calling us and they're asking questions. A lot of classes are free. We're using them to showcase our teaching style and who we are and why you should choose us for training. Some of the classes, like the Introduction to Handguns class, the Basic Firearm Safety class, we tend to charge for those. Not a lot of money, $10, $20 if we get them in to see our training and able to, fill their head with a little bit of information. Sometimes, depending on how much we're charging for the class, we offer a coupon at the end that will offer them money off of their CPL training. So here's some content ideas. Like I said, we've done Introduction to Handguns, how to choose your first class, why take a gun safety course, what you need to know as a firearm owner, even if you don't carry a gun. This is all done for you content. You can customize it by doing a greeting ahead of time, a bumper at the beginning, a bumper at the end. You can customize the slideshow using your own voice. You can use my voice, doesn't matter, but you can do it. There are some people out there hesitant because they're like, well, I don't have good lighting. I don't have a good microphone. Easily accessible. Here, right on Amazon, are entire kits that you can get for $100. If you have decent lighting, if you have a decent microphone, go for it. Just do it. It's not expensive to get into the production of a online class. So, Jim is going to take over from here. He's going to talk about how you can record your own slideshows and what you need to know about doing that and how to do it. So, Jim, it's all you.
All right. Can you hear me okay? All right. So here we go. So this may surprise you that pretty much every single one of you, if you've been using PowerPoint or Keynote to deliver content today, live in person in class, you already have software that has the ability to record narration and produce videos of your slides. So both PowerPoint and Keynote have that. And then also we'll cover some third-party software for screen recording and hardware encoding as well. Okay, so on PowerPoint, this is a screenshot. This is PowerPoint for Mac, but similar on Windows, you'll have a recording option if you see it up at the very top there that gives you the ability to record a slideshow as well as add audio per slide. And both PowerPoint and Keynote are kind of similar in that regard. You're essentially attaching the narration of the audio to each slide. And then once you've gone through that process, you go back and you record the advancements of the slide, essentially the timing of the slide, and then export it out as a movie. So I'll give you a couple screenshots here. So there at the top, I'm doing the pull down of the audio browser so that you can either select a pre-recorded audio file that you may have used, Audacity, which is a free audio recording software, or any other audio recording software to attach it. Or if you click the record audio, it's going to bring up a microphone interface and allow you to record the audio right on that slide. The other option is to do the same thing, but do it in a way where it's more familiar to you, as if you were presenting it in front of a live audience. And as you record and advance, the audio will still get attached to each slide as you go. And then you can stop and pause and take a break if you'd like. If you see at the very top of the screen on the Mac, the very top of the screen, there's the option to turn on a camera. And there's little drop down arrows next to both the mic and the camera. And that's where you can click and change the source. If you have more than one audio source or more than one camera, you can do that, and you can turn your camera on or off. I suggest, as you're getting started, it's far easier and far quicker from an editing perspective to record the slides without the camera. That way, when you're doing jump cuts, because if you're like me, I have fits and starts, and I'm not the great orator that is Doreen. So my edits take quite a bit longer. So having no camera on makes the edits easier.
Yeah. If you listen to the things I recorded today, I am anything but an orator. So wait until you go to edit those. It's there's some swears.
Yeah. So and well, if I go back and look at the very bottom of that main slide, you see there's like a laser pointer there. There's highlighters in different colors, right? And when you zoom in on that, and Zachary, my youngest, pointed out that I'm also a great artist, because that's the orange
yeah, that's
circle.
The best circle ever.
But when you annotate the slides, when you annotate, it will also be timed there as well. So keep that in mind. And then once you've recorded the audio on each of the slides, and then go through and do a playback and record, you'll have the ability to then export your slide as a movie file. And then just make sure you select one of the higher resolutions, H.264, like it shows there, export it out, and you have a movie, which you can then upload into the Cloud Bedrock Learning platform, and either give that away as a free gift, or as a lead magnet into one of your in-person or live virtual courses, or sell it. Keynote, very similar. So you select your audio input source from system preferences or system settings if you're the new kid and have the latest operating system. And then within Keynote, at the very top, there's a little media where you would normally drop in your photos or still graphics, etc. But one of the options you see towards the top there is record audio. So then, very much like on PowerPoint, you have the ability to record audio per slide. And also, just like on PowerPoint, you want to be cognizant of the fact that you want to have a pause in between the changing of the slides, because records and starts and stops aren't super precise. So, do record audio on each slide, take a pause, wait until the slide is transitioned, make the next record. So then once you've stopped the record, then you have the ability to preview it, edit it, re-record, move that little line there that and go back and start from where you've placed the cue. And then when you're happy, you press insert, and that insert drops that audio onto the slide. From there, you can go back and right click on a little icon that drops on your slide and say edit audio, and then you can get back in and you can trim your audio, you can cut and replace, just very simple audio editing functionality. once you have the audio finished the way you like it, the next thing you need to do is in the build order for the slide, make sure that it is the first. If you have like multiple bullets that are building over time, which is something that Doreen just can't stand, so she never has builds on her slides. But you want to make sure it's first, and then typically you want to set the option for when it presents to after transition, which means that as soon as the slide is finished coming onto the screen, it's going to play, and then usually put a little bit of a delay there, like a second before the audio starts to automatically play. And then for the playback and record, so you go up to the play and see where it says record slideshow. That's when you start, and you're at that point just pressing the advance when the audio is completed for each slide. Once that's done, you go out to File, Export to, Movie, and very similar to the PowerPoint process, you select where it's going to go and what resolution you want. And you have a movie file that, once again, you can upload into the Cloud Bedrock membership area and give that software away or sell it. So those are the built-in, free for all intents and purposes. If you have, Keynote or PowerNote, which I presume you do, one or the other, if you're teaching classes. But then if you want a little bit more flexibility, you can use software screen recording. And here are just a few examples of ones that we've used over time. So QuickTime is built in on the Mac. These are free options and capture only, meaning they're just there to capture the content, not edit it. Another one is called OBS, Open Broadcaster System, and that's cross-platform. It runs on both Mac and Windows. And I would recommend lately the most recent versions of OBS work quite well, but only also with the most recent versions of Mac OS. So Mac OS Ventura, OBS version 28.1.2, which was released last month, or higher on the Apple Silicon version of the hardware from Apple. Audacity, as I mentioned before, is a free software for audio recording and editing. That's quite handy. And then on the paid options, we've used for many years ScreenFlow, which is a Mac-only option, ScreenFlow 10. Price starts at currently $169. You can buy it from the Apple App Store. The advantage there being you can use the family sharing option. And so if you've got more than one computer and family member, then that kind of saves quite a bit of money on the per seat charge. Camtasia 2022 is the latest shipping version. It's cross-platform, starts at $299, and they do allow you to install it on up to 2 computers, but you can only use one at a time. But you can install one on a Mac and one on Windows, and as long as you're not using them concurrently, you're good to go on the license. Another really cool one that we started using just within the last, 90 days or so is a program called Descript, and there's a few applications that are starting to pop up that do kind of similar things, but they essentially will take a video that you import or that you record. It also does screen capture. It'll convert the audio into text and then present a text editor for you to edit the video. So instead of using a timeline and scrubbing around and trying to find where you said and ah, you can actually see the ums and ahs, and you can actually click a button and have it just find them all and remove them, either delete them or fill them with silence. So that's a super handy, very fast way to edit your videos. Loom is another screen capture and sharing application. It's better for showing examples of how to do something versus a e-learning capture application, but it's relatively inexpensive. ProPresenter is more of an advanced presentation software. It lets you hook up multiple different types of displays and present completely different formatted screens depending on the use case, like stage displays and multiple formats for stage displays, and and all those kind of things, but it also supports capture. It does not have edit capabilities within it. And it's also not inexpensive. It's $3.99 a seat per year. Okay, for editing, there's some free options. iMovie on the Mac, Movie Maker on Windows, Vimeo even has with the web tool, you can edit videos on Vimeo. Once again, Audacity for the audio recording and editing. And then on paid options, we've used Final Cut over the years. It starts at $2.99. DaVinci Resolve is actually a really good deal. They have a free version that has most all of the features that anyone would normally need to use. And then they have a studio version for $2.95. And that's not an annual, that's like a one-time price per major version. And you can also get it bundled with hardware, like they have speed editors and crazy editing keyboards. And along with that keyboard, you'll get a dongle for the license for the software. And you'll also get it with some of their higher end cameras and professional video switchers. Adobe Premiere Pro starts at $20.99 a month. You can also get it as part of the Creative Suite for $54 a month, which is a better deal considering the number of software packages you get in comparison. One versus, I don't even know what the total count is right now. Definitely worth looking at. Very popular in the industry. Descript, once again, as I was referring to, is both a capture and editor. Yeah, so that covers those. Hardware. So now we're moving from software to hardware. And why would you want to have a hardware capture if you're doing more high-end productions, or if you're doing productions where it's not just screen capture, but it's also talent that's in the room and you're doing demonstrations of different stances and grips and all that, right? You have multiple cameras with different angles. You're starting to get it into the area where you might have to get hardware capture interfaces that use cable to run longer distances, because HDMI is a pretty short distance cable. And so that these devices from Blackmagic, the Ultra Studios, are great for capture and playback. And then also you can use their DeckLink cards, the Blackmagic DeckLink cards, as capture devices inside of a PC or on the Mac. We have a handful of Macs here with external chassis, and then we have these DeckLink cards in them to do crazy things like bring people in via Zoom for interviews. Another recording type of device is the ATEM switchers from Blackmagic. The models that are named ISO is for isolated video capture. So some of those devices are 4-port. The Mini Extreme is an 8-port HDMI. And that ISO means that you can record every single one of those inputs individually, as well as the program out. So now you have the mixed video as well as each individual video stream as a separate input. You store that, you record that onto an external SSD hard drive, and then you bring it up in DaVinci Resolve and edit it from there. I did get Doreen one of these little things because she really likes having a teleprompter. So this little, and Doreen's not supposed to look at prices. She just is supposed to look at the pretty lights on there.
Yeah. Keep going.
So the shuttle has a little, has the ability to both play back and record. It's only a single input record, but one of the interesting features it has is if you put a RTF, a text file essentially on the SSD or on the SD card that you can put inside of the device, it will play back as you're turning that shuttle at whatever speed you'd like on your teleprompter. So very handy. And yeah, so there's a picture of someone using it hooked to a little mini display. But if you have a teleprompter that's in front of your camera, it is super handy. So now what? So you've figured out that you don't actually, while you can spend as much money as you want and more, you also don't have to spend really any money other than perhaps a nice or a decent microphone and being cognizant of where you're recording. We can help. So we've done a few of these things. We can help if it's just, with information. Doreen is on the phone multiple times a day, just giving out information from people who are looking for, coaching or how do we do this or that, helping with logos, et cetera. So there's really not too many things we have turned away from people that are requesting help. So you know where to find us. We do have a limited time offer for Cloud Bedrock that's running through the end of the year. Some of you have already taken advantage of that. We have the 4 done for you starter courses that Doreen is going through and kind of white labeling the ones that we've had that she's mentioned before, so that we'll be able to drop those 4 starter courses right into your account. We can drop in the Doreen's funnel that she uses with success for the Michigan CPL renewal class that you can kind of pick apart and use in your neck of the woods. The plans that we have 2 plans. We have an essential and professional plan. And for a limited time, we've been offering the 3 key features that are they're normally in the professional plan only, which is the membership sites. That's the ability to host and sell your own courses, the ability to have unlimited funnels. So you could compare that to like a ClickFunnels, very similar to their $295 plan. Unlimited websites. You can also have unlimited domains associated with this account. And then on the professional plan, to make sure that the folks that are signing up for that aren't missing out, we're including an e-commerce pro plan that supports, if you need it, the ability to put point of sale systems like Square Pay at no additional charge through the end of the month, normally an $89 additional month fee. Cloud Bedrock difference. So it might surprise you that we are Second Amendment friendly. Weird, huh? So unlike much of the tech landscape, we respect the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. It's actually why I pivoted and started focusing in this niche versus going in a different direction. Doreen and I have been in the firearms training business, mostly Doreen, to be fair, for the last 15 years. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, and so the Cloud Bedrock is owned and operated by that. And Second Amendment friendly is truly an understatement.
Truly an understatement, yeah.
So the special offer links, and don't have to worry about like screenshotting this or what have you. I will send this out for everyone. But the link at the top is to sign up for the essential plan, which has the additional features we mentioned. And then the one below is for the professional plan. Either of these plans can be signed up month to month or annually. And on the month to month, there's no contract for that. So you can try it out and see if you like it. And I think
That's it.
That's it.
So I think like with all of your special equipment, you might have scared some people off. So I want to point out that if Jim is not involved in the production of whatever I'm doing, if I'm teaching a class, if I have a class that I do for people who are doing court-ordered gun safety classes. A lot of times you'll have a CPL holder who will break the law. I had one recently. It was a CPL holder who was caught drinking and driving with a loaded firearm in the car. So the court ordered him to take a gun safety class. There are people around town that are charging $300 for people to come in and take a class like that. And it's basically the renewal class that we offer for the state of Michigan. So because I wanted to do this live and in person, and I didn't want to bring them necessarily into an actual class, I offered for $50 to get on a Zoom call and take them through what I have to offer as far as a gun safety class goes. I issued him a certificate of completion because he and I were on a call face to face, and I knew that he understood and had all the information that he needed. And it was a quick $50 for teaching somebody information that I already have. I did that on my computer with my internet connection and the microphone that's on my computer. It makes Jim's skin crawl because if you look behind him, he's got all the hoo-ha that a real regular studio has, but it doesn't have to be that way. As a Cloud Bedrock customer, you are given so much information. We put all of those 4 classes that he referred to out there. It's already hosted for you. You don't have to find a place to host it. It's hosted for you. Anything that you want to create, you put it up on our servers. It's hosted for you. If you have an existing website, you can put the information on your website and it's hosted on our platform. Some people say, well, I'm just going to record some stuff and I'm going to throw it out there and I'm going to put it on YouTube or I'm going to put it on TikTok, which is great. I mean, it's great to have that information out there, but you can't monetize it. In order to be a monetized TikToker or a monetized YouTuber, you have to have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people who are out there watching your stuff and subscribing to your channel. With the Cloud Bedrock platform, you throw your videos up there, you charge for them, you don't charge for them, however it is you want to do. It's very similar to a Netflix where they can log in, they can pick what they want to watch. If it's a paid event, they just put in their credit card information and it's free, they're free to watch it whenever they want. It's downloadable on the Cloud Bedrock platform. So if somebody sees a class like my 3-hour CPL renewal class, they're able to download it to their iPad, to their phone, to their laptop, and say they're taking a flight and they're going to watch it while they're busy on a flight. They're able to do that. They don't have to have an internet connection. Lots of benefits of using the Cloud Bedrock platform. I've got some customers of ours on the call tonight, and they can attest to you that I am here for you and Jim is here for you to walk you through everything. I have helped instructors out there develop a complete marketing plan when it comes to getting a logo designed. I can do that for you. I've set up websites. I have provided marketing materials. I have a book that I wrote that I send my students before they take my CPL class. And it's just being prepared for your CPL class. It explains to them exactly how their day is going to go, how they should dress, what they should bring, what they shouldn't bring. If they're transporting a firearm, the rules for that. It covers a lot of the vernacular as far as what does ACP mean? What is the Tooler drill? What is all of the things that we talk about in class? It gives them that information well ahead of time. You can monetize that. You can give it to them for free. I go back and forth with it, but I often give it away for free. It can be customized for anybody. And I'm happy to send you the files for that so that you can customize it, or I can help you through that. But I have some students or some clients on here. If anyone's interested in their experience they've had with us, I see Carrie's on here. Maybe he can give a little insight on what working with us is like. I've got Carrie. I've spoken to a number of people, Gary, who are on the call tonight. So it's great to see. Does anyone have any questions at all about the information that we've presented? Y'all are being way too quiet.
Some of you are probably
Gary, are you
preparing for a
sleeping? Come on
preparing for the
now.
storm.
Come on now. Yeah. Are y'all preparing for this big snowmageddon we're getting? I am beyond excited. They're talking about many, many, many inches of snow. But I am so excited to get some snow here. It's almost Christmas and we've not had any accumulated snow. So anyone have any questions for us? Snow is a 4-letter word. No, it's not. I love snow. Yes, absolutely, Robert. This has all been recorded. So when we wrap up tonight, we are going to send everyone a link to this so that you can go back, watch it as many times as you want. I really hope not. Yeah. As a first responder, I feel for you. Wouldn't want to have to be out there. I'm the person sitting in the big comfy chair with a cup of coffee and a cat watching it snow, maybe baking some cookies, not doing anything real productive. And that's my plan for Friday. Don't tell Jim. You're welcome. Carrie, you're being awful quiet. When people do an online class, do they get a certificate or anything? Any of the online classes that I offer, it depends. They don't require certification. The online classes that we run, that run 24/7, no, they don't get anything. If they request one, I'd certainly send them one. The hard part with that is actually verifying that they said that they did what they said they did. You don't know that they played the video and went off and did laundry. If somebody is live with me online for like a mini class or something where I actually can verify that they were there, they interacted, and they were part of the class, yes, I generate a certificate of completion for those things. We have house full of grandkids. That's quite all right, Carrie. Yeah, a lot of the classes that we offer for viewing, like the 3-hour Michigan concealed carry renewal class, doesn't require a certificate of completion because it's not a required class in the state of Michigan. The only class that we offer that requires a certificate in the state of Michigan is the CPL class, and that's done in a hybrid version. We're allowed to deliver the 5 hours of book work online live and then 3 hours of range. And so everybody's actually there in person for the range portion. It is a subscription service. It's a monthly service and pay as you go. If you decide it's something that you don't want or isn't being useful to you, cancel at any time. Oh, Jim's already answering those. I'm not paying attention. Too busy talking. But again, if you have any, oh, thank you, Carrie. If you have any questions, reach out to us. Jim, we're doing group stuff tomorrow. We'll have a
Right.
login at 11 and another one at 7 tomorrow night.
Yeah, Eastern Standard Time. And I did put the links in the chat. If you scroll up a little bit, and I will also send an email out, but it's cloudbedrock.com/QA1 for the 11 a.m. Eastern and QA2 for the 7 p.m. Eastern. And these calls are just like general Q&A calls. So they're, there's no agenda. We're just getting on the call and answering any questions you might
answering
have.
questions.
And it's a Zoom meeting. So, it's, you'll be able to answer the call.
Angela, if you have a domain name, you can provide it and it can be used. We can, if you have an existing website as a Cloud Bedrock client, it can be hosted on our servers. If you don't have, which we've had several students come to us recently that are instructors that didn't have names for their business or domain names for their business. And we've worked through that and gotten them domain names and stuff and put things up for them. So either way, you're able to use the platform.
Yeah, we just actually ran on that topic. We just had one that came to us. Apparently their Stripe account got shut down because Stripe requires that you have a website apparently nowadays. And so he had only a site for the USCCA sign up, but not his own, business name site. And so we had to hurriedly get a website up. And so FYI, in the event you don't have one and you're using Stripe for whatever reason, I'm sure it has nothing to do with the industry.
Right. So yeah. And we worked with a client not long ago who freaked out when he got that Stripe letter saying that you have to have a website. And so he contacted GoDaddy and explained to them what his vision was for a website, gave them thousands of dollars.
Yeah, $5,000 for a WordPress site with a LMS, learning management system on it.
Oh my goodness gracious. There's no way that I would spend that. Trust me, for pennies, literally, we can put up, get you a domain name, make you a logo, get you up and running. And what is it, $197 a month for us to do all of that for you, to get you running. I know a lot of instructors just kind of like ping people to the USCCA site to set up and whatever, but Stripe is cracking down and going through and requiring that businesses actually have a business website of their own. So we're able to help you with that. I can give you, as a client of Cloud Bedrock, you get the first 4 presentations that are all recorded and done for you, the classes that are done for you. You can either use them as they stand, you can add to them, you can re-record them using the PowerPoint presentation or the keynote presentation. You can record it in your own voice. I did it much like the USCCA provides us with all of the stuff that they provide us. It's all just kind of all there for you on a slide, and we teach to the slide. So yeah, absolutely. I'm also able to give you a entrance into our 3-hour Michigan CPL class, so you can see how I did that as well. But yeah, we'd be happy to share that with you. Great, Robert. We'd be looking forward to working with you. I had a slow day today. I mean, like, Carrie didn't want to talk to me. Gary didn't want to talk to me. I don't know what all y'all are doing out there, but nobody talked to me today. So I could use something to do.
That's a great question, Gary. Is there a possibility?
Yes, you can.
I'm giving her a hard time because she was literally making the overwriting recordings on the audio right up into the very last minute. She was going to sit down one more time, and it was like 20 minutes out, and I was like, no, cut. We got to go live. Yeah. We'll get it to before the end of the year for sure.
Somebody had me eating puffy tacos for lunch today, and I have heartburn. And so I was having acid reflux when I was trying to record. That's what I'm blaming it on. So good. All is good. Well, if anyone needs us, we're doing those group calls tomorrow. Jim's going to send out the links for those so that you can join. If you think about it overnight, if you have any questions, you want to fling something by us, we'll be online tomorrow at 11 and again at 7. We're always available via email. We're always available via phone. And if you want to do a one-on-one with us, then Jim will send you the link to book on our calendar for a one-on-one. Yeah, lots of instructors don't have websites, and you can make them as bare or as fulfilled as you want to. We're really flexible with that. And we'd be really happy to help. Carrie, you're adding. Awesome. And adding a second page. Good job. Yeah, I'm the people. I love being the people. I love being creative. So
I'm the technology guy. She's the creative person. So
yeah, when
typically
I just sometimes yell, "Dang it, Jim," and then he takes over. Carrie will tell you that he was having some technology stuff go sideways the other day, and I called him back to let him know that Jim was currently recording a show. He was online with a show, and that as soon as he was available, which was just a few minutes later, that he would help him with that because it was way out of my wheelhouse. For me, if I can't turn something off and turn it back on again to make it work, or bang on it repeatedly, it's Jim's wheelhouse. So, but if you want pretty colors and stuff laid out in a nice format with good wording and stuff like that, I'm your girl. So I can do all of that. Yeah, lots of people aren't tech savvy. I am dangerously tech savvy. I am not completely tech savvy, but I know enough to get things done. And that is strangely one of the hardest parts for instructors across the nation that I talk to. They're really good at what they do. They're very good at shooting. They're very good at working with students. What they're not very good at is all of the crafty stuff that comes with getting students, getting butts and seats, and creating an image for themselves, and establishing a Facebook presence, and establishing themselves on Google My Business and things like that. And I'm here to help anyone, even if you're not a Cloud Bedrock client, I'm here to help you with doing some of those things. Of course, I would love for you to come on and host your website with us and let me help you develop one and maybe create a logo, whatever. There's a lady that I've worked with in Florida. Her name is Rose. She's an instructor. And she just really kind of struggled with an image and a name and all of this stuff. And we kind of put that all together. She's not a Cloud Bedrock client yet, but I'm still happy to help any instructor with kind of trying to figure out, where to go and what to do in order to get those butts and seats. So I know a lot of you, butts and seats, some of you can only take in, 6 or 7 people. Some of you host larger classes. Different things work for different people. And I've been on both sides of it. I've been the instructor who had just a couple butts and seats. And now I'm the instructor who routinely hosts 30, 40 people. I don't do it by myself. I have another instructor that works with me. I have range safety officers. It's quite the production for us. But I do small classes. I do large classes. But what I excel in is putting butts in seats, and I can help any one of you with that. Yeah, Gary, the chat widget, man. For those of you that don't know about the Cloud Bedrock platform, there's a whole host of services that it offers. One of them is the chat feature. Just to give you an idea, back in the day, I had chat on my Google page. I had chat on my, butts and seats is always the goal. Chat on my Google page, chat on my Facebook page, chat on my shopping cart with Shopify. I had chat in one other place. And in order to consider those live or be able to answer them, I had to be in front of my computer. Then Facebook changed it to where they would push that notification to your phone. Our shopping cart changed that they would push the notification to your phone. And then what ended up happening is I had all of these chat platforms pushing stuff to my phone, and I didn't know where it was coming from, who it was coming from, how to answer it. So Jim has taken all of those chat platforms, put them into an app. And now everything about every one of my customers comes in on one platform on my phone. I don't have to be in front of my computer to answer a student's question or a potential student's question. There are a lot of people out there, and those of you that don't regularly use chat wouldn't understand that there are a lot of people out there who would rather interview you or ask you questions before booking with you via chat, just because it's anonymous, just because they might be in a cube farm at work and they don't want to be talking on the telephone and having people overhear their conversation. And I am on my phone answering chats all day long. If I'm working with a student, maybe I'm teaching a class or I'm on the range with a student doing a one-on-one, those chats are still able to be answered because I fling it off on Jim. I make it his responsibility to watch my chat platform go by. The callback feature on Cloud Bedrock is amazing. I am a one-man show here. While I have instructors on staff, I am Detroit Arms. I'm the person that is answering the phone, scheduling the classes, advertising the classes, cleaning the restroom, bringing in the pizza. I am everything to Detroit Arms. And so sometimes I am not able to answer a phone because maybe I'm already on the phone. And so when somebody calls me, even if they don't leave a message, even if they just hang up to go to the next instructor on their Google list, they will get an immediate text from me saying, "Hi, it's Doreen from Detroit Arms. Sorry I missed your call. I'll be with you shortly. Is there anything you want to let me know so that I'm prepared when I call you back?" And it catches people completely by surprise. They don't call the next guy on the list. They send me a question like, "Hey, when is your next class? Do you still have room in your class on Saturday?" Things that I can easily answer before I call them back, or I'm prepared when I call them back. They don't go to the next person, and I capture that client. We did a little test in the month of October where we saw how many calls I missed. And in the month of October, I had like 150 some phone calls from clients. 46, I think. I don't know the numbers, but 40 something of them
I'm going to say it was 42 universal.
Yeah, I missed. And then I was able to recoup business from 26 of those people just based on my chat recovery. 26 people at $100 a head is $2,600 a month. That's a big deal. So if you haven't watched our other training or our other explanations, go to that Pew Pros website and look through all of that. I'm not trying to pitch you something that you have to buy. I'm just trying to pitch you solutions, things that I have been frustrated with for many years. I had a MailChimp account. I had all these other platforms that I was using and cobbling together in order to keep in front of my students. It's 6 to 7 times less money to market to a former student who is going to refer you than it is to find a new student. I got shut down off of Facebook for 6 months this year. It was separate shutdowns, but I had posted some memes out there that the Facebook powers that be didn't feel were appropriate, and they shut me off. I've got like 16,000 followers on Facebook, and I was not able to interact with them as Detroit Arms. I have a mailing list. It's 10,000 people strong. But the point is that when you email a list, you're only going to hit that one person, and they might forward it to 1 or 2 people. When you hit 16,000 people on a Facebook account and they share what you've put out there, you've now hit tens of thousands of people on the same message. So I did a thing on Facebook and what I put up with and how you can get around that. A lot of you don't realize Google My Business, even if you don't have a brick and mortar that you teach out of. Maybe you teach at your local club. Maybe you teach at an outdoor range down the road, and you do the class itself in your house, or you do it at the VFW hall, or you have a church that you use. If there's an address that you can't use because it's another business's address, you can still have a Google My Business and a Google Maps listing, and we can walk you through and get you through getting all of that set up. It doesn't matter how much money you throw at advertising. If people don't know where to find you, they're not going to find you. And 98% of the public goes to Google and types in something like firearm training or concealed pistol license training near me, and it gives them a list of the people that are out there. We have a client in Chicago, huge market for CPL training. Anyone in Illinois knows that there are some laws that are going into effect come January that make a lot of really horrible offenses not detainable. Like somebody can try to kidnap you or burn down your house, and they'll get arrested and they'll get charged, and then they'll get released. They're not going to be detained for those crimes. So people are scrambling to get CPLs in Illinois. I put in their business name. They didn't even show up on Google Maps, didn't even show up on any Google search. So we worked through with them on how to get listed on Google My Business and Google Maps. And lo and behold, within 30 days, they're on page 2, which was amazing because typically it takes about 90 days to work through the process. If you're gearing up for 2023 and your goal is to see and be seen, you need to get on the program, and I'm here to help you with that. So I want us all to be successful, and I want you all to learn from my mistakes because heaven knows I've made them, and I don't want you to be put in the same position that I've been in. Jim watches me with my sticky notes and my pens and trying to juggle everything that I do in the course of a day. And he has streamlined the entire process for me. I no longer have to search down what chat platform somebody came to me in. It's on my phone. I no longer have to worry about getting back to the office so that I can log in to see who's trying to find me on Facebook Messenger. Because if you know anything about Facebook Messenger, any Apple update will break it, the app on your phone, and Apple pushes updates all the time. Messenger is never working for me. This goes around that and still gets me the message. I also don't have to go around and find where somebody came to me from. I was always telling them, this guy reached out to me and he wanted some advanced pistol training, and I don't know where he reached out to me from. It's all there. So it's been a great time saver for me. But if anyone has any questions, reach out. We're putting together 2 calls tomorrow, one at 11 Eastern Standard Time, one at 7 Eastern Standard Time. Take a look at some of our old stuff on Pew Pros, and if there's something I can help you with, feel free to join in on those calls or get on our calendar and we can do a one-on-one with you. So thank you for joining us this evening. Thank you, Robert. I hope we get to work with you here real soon. I know that we can help you with whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish for 2023, except lose weight. I'm not good at telling people how to lose weight. Don't come to me for that kind of advice. But if it's anything for business related and putting butts in seats, I can help you. I can tell you what worked for me and we can try it, but we'll figure it out. We'll get butts in seats for you. So thank you all for joining us. I hope to hear from you all soon. Until next time.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. Happy holidays. Happy holidays to everyone.